cold? You hot?
I'm I'm at a perfect temperature. I feel like well, it's 68 in here.
Maybe.
All right. Yeah. No,
All right,
that's
well, we're doing the
perfect.
hoodie episode, obviously.
Yeah, we got to
for
do the hoodie
listener.
up.
Yeah, we did. You came in with your purple hoodie, and I was like,
Mhm.
I have a purple hoodie.
Everybody
obviously-
should have a purple. I feel like it's the optimal color for a hoodie to be.
Yeah,
Is purple.
you got
you
this
know?
nice Halloween display in the back. You know, it's a very spooky season. Are you feeling it?
It is. I'm not feeling it as much as I usually do. I think it's because it's still so warm. But
It's been getting nippy at night.
it's been getting cold. I like the cold nights. I prefer cold weather to warm. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Hoodie
like
weather, obviously.
Hoodie weather. I like being cozy and bundled. I like getting warm better than I like cooling off, if that makes sense. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Because
definitely
cooling off, you're exposing yourself to the elements. You gotta fan yourself. It's exhausting to cool yourself off. It's relaxing to warm yourself up. You know?
Yeah, I mean, your muscles are relaxing when they get hot. You ever been in a sauna?
I went into a sauna for the first time this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Is it
pretty.
after you busted up your face?
It was after, yeah.
Okay. We'll have to
Yeah.
get into that. I mean, that was notorious. Do you have any pictures we could bring up of your face all fucked up?
I left my phone in my car, but there are a bunch of pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, well,
If you have access to
I do.
Instagram,
And what's the name?
it's at Evan Joe.
All right. Yeah. So you had an accident.
Yeah, that's the slides.
Gosh.
That's a pretty brutal one.
Yeah, it's
That one, that was the day it happened. I had a show that night. I'm like still in a hospital gown. I had a little teddy bear with me. I was on a lot of drugs.
but you were just like, I'm gonna do comedy.
Yeah, I
go
needed the
ahead and-
$40.
Go ahead and set it up. Yeah, obviously with all the hospital bills. Go ahead and set it up for us. What happened? This is probably the most exciting thing.
Oh wow, yeah. So it was St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I was the designated driver. I wasn't drunk at all. I was hanging out with Dave Ness and Adam Gilliland downtown. They were just kind of bar hopping, going around, enjoying the festivities. And
Are those comics?
some might say, yeah. They've been known to,
You know,
sling
you're
a
young
joke or
buck. I'm
two.
a young, young
Yeah.
at heart, but
young bucks, good
yeah.
friends of
You're
mine.
young buck in the scene. I'm not gonna do intros anymore. It's Evan Joe, young buck in the scene.
Hey guys,
You know, young gun
young
right
buck in
here.
the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were just hanging out, kind of going from bar to bar, just mostly people watching. We actually spent most of the night just in a corner of this bar, like waxing philosophically about like death. And we got pretty deep with each other. It was kind of beautiful.
On St. Patrick's Day.
On St. Patrick's Day, yeah, they were drinking their green beers, taking a green piss. And I was just nursing a glass of water.
Taking the green piss out of you, huh?
Exactly. And so the bars close around 2 a.m. and we're walking down. We had parked our car at a light rail station and kind of light railed in because the traffic was going to be crazy. So
why did you even need to be the DD?
well, because once we got back to the car, I still needed to drive everybody home.
Up, bro.
Exactly.
Nah,
I only drink once a year, and it's only Fireball.
yeah, well, you're also
I'm
20,
14,
yeah,
so yeah. That's how it goes. But yeah, so we're walking down 16th Street Mall to Union Station, and you just hear like a pop, 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 and we're like, "What the fuck?" We kind of look at each other, kind of like trying to convince each other, like fireworks, something that could be anything. And before any of us can get a word out, you just hear pop, 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 pop. You hear someone behind us yell, "Gunshots! Everybody run!" So the whole block just
Very
scatters. I start running as fast as I can.
was it just fear automatically?
It was fight or flight, and like one of the purest forms I've ever experienced.
You
fight
didn't
or
have
flight.
like time to calculate anything. You're
No,
just
it was
run.
just like hide or die.
right.
And so
So you weren't like, I gotta protect my friends or anything. You're like, I'm out of here.
I left them in the dust. I'm
Okay.
way faster than both of them. I'm glad they're slow. I was gonna get away, and so I just start running as fast as I can. And at one point,
what area of town was this? Sorry.
16th Street Mall.
Okay, yeah.
Walking towards Union Station.
Okay.
I forget the exact cross
Sure.
streets. So I'm running as fast as I can, and I kind of like look behind me to see what's good because I still haven't seen anything. I haven't seen a gun. I'm just hearing it and I'm hearing the
Yeah, yeah.
commotion. I'm seeing everybody
And
run.
everybody's running.
I mean, it's not a super crowded block. It's not like there's hundreds of people
What
running.
time of day was this?
Like 2:15 in the morning.
Okay.
So the
Sorry, I'm not trying to
bars.
give a police interrogation. I'm just trying to get a picture.
No, you'd be the only one that interrogated anybody that night. So
Right. Yeah, you're saying that the police are kind of negligent.
yeah, very much so.
Sorry.
So I like kind of look behind me. As I'm looking behind me, I catch my ankle on like a bike or just some bar that was sticking out of the ground. And I hit it so hard, I end up rupturing the tendon in my ankle.
Jesus Christ.
And just the speed I'm going at and the way that my ankle hit it, it just shit whips my face into the concrete, like fast and hard. And I see like a bright flash of white light as soon as I hit the concrete. And I get up, my glasses are broken, and it is just a stream of blood. There's not even individual drops of blood. It is just a fountain of blood squirting out of my face.
Yeah, that's rough.
It was bad, but and like I said, my leg was super fucked up. My face was obviously super fucked up, and then I fell. We'll cut that. And so, but I immediately get up and I keep running. Like I fall, and within seconds, I'm back up. I'm running. I go around the corner, and there's like this little cubby in a doorway, like an entrance to an apartment building or something that I just hide in. And I'm giving all my mental energy into just trying to stay awake because I'm losing so much
Okay,
blood.
so you're
Like
feeling weak. You're just
I'm
like,
getting woozy as hell. The adrenaline, the fear, it's all hitting me at once. And my friend Dave fell in the exact same spot that I fell, but like he trips, but he doesn't get up.
oh shit.
And I don't
You think
know
he's got
this.
shot.
I'm around the corner. I just hear Adam going, Dave, you gotta get up, man. You gotta get up, man. So I think they're getting murdered behind
Yeah.
me. I'm trying to find a place to hide, but I know wherever I go, I'm gonna leave such an insane trail of blood that there really is nowhere for me to hide. So I just kind of wait there. I stop hearing the gunshots eventually. Like
So it's still popping. Things are still popping off.
it was a initial 3 shots,
Okay.
pop, 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 and then it was like pop, 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 pop. That's when I start running. I fall. After I fall, I don't hear the gunshots
Okay,
anymore.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just kind of those 2 little
Gotcha.
spurts,
Okay.
empty to clip or whatever. I think through the retelling of the night that I've kind of gone through with everybody, I think it was just someone leaving a bar after St. Patrick's Day, being super drunk, just Yosemite salmon into the air.
So you think it was gunshots?
It was
You
gunshots
know it
for
was
sure.
gun-
So
okay.
I know someone that lives on that intersection,
You
and
do?
he's like,
Wow.
this
16th Street.
happens every week. It like people just shooting guns off. Because it couldn't have been like gunshots have like a bass to that, like a rumble to them that is pretty unmistakable, especially when you're that close.
Yeah, let's look at gunshot.
Gunshot sounds, yeah.
sound.
Let's see what we got here.
Do you care what gun?
It sounded semi-automatic, unless someone had a real quick trigger finger.
I don't know what
Slower than that.
Okay, that was an AK-47. I don't know anything about guns, so
Yeah,
sorry if
wasn't
this
quite.
is triggering to anybody. Okay, no one was really hurt except you.
Yeah,
and
I
that
feel
was,
like
you know,
yeah,
of your own hand.
right. Let's see.
Yeah, all these fucking gun YouTube things are like, oh, let's show off this gun. It's gun porn.
Gun porn.
I don't know anything about guns.
Oh, I liked it. He
He
cocked
cocked it
that
in
in
a
an
weird way.
interesting way.
Well, this has a silencer on it. It's not worth it.
Okay, we're getting
Okay.
there.
Okay. Gun sound effects, rapid
Oh.
gunshots.
Gunshot versus firecracker.
Listen.
Second one was a gun for sure. Oh, all right. Second one was a firecracker.
First one was a gun.
Wait, let me hear it again. Second one was a gun.
Yeah. Wow. Both swings and a miss on this one.
All right, maybe it was fireworks that I was hearing. now
Fireworks
that
on
I'm-
St. Patrick's Day sounds good. I mean, or sounds logical.
Yeah,
but
in
people have guns and shit.
in addition to the sound, there was also the hysterical screaming of a woman's voice
Mhm.
saying, "Gunshots,
Yeah, yeah.
everybody run."
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
scary.
that was more
That's yeah,
'cause we
scary.
heard the initial 3 and we didn't the initial boom, boom, boom. We didn't immediately start running after that. We just kinda, "What the fuck?" And then yeah, so anyway, I'm around the corner. Adam and
Bleeding
Dave
out.
finally come around the corner, and I'm like, I can
You
barely
lay
stand
down.
up.
Okay.
Well, I'm like trying to I'm like leaning against the entrance, and this guy comes up because he lives there and he's trying to get into the building, and I'm like, "They're killing everyone, man. You
Oh,
gotta get the
shit.
hell out of here." And I'm just like,
Wow.
I look like a fucking zombie. And finally, like Dave comes and his leg is all fucked up, and I'm just kind of like leaning on him, just bleeding everywhere. And finally, the cops show up,
Did you
and
call them? Somebody called them?
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah. Your
call them.
friends would've just let you bleed out.
I definitely didn't call them.
Okay.
I think Adam might have called them. I'm sure a bunch of calls came in though, because
Okay, yeah,
it
yeah.
was
Scary times,
pandemonium.
scary times.
And they get there and they just come up to me and they don't ask me how I am. They're not trying to help me up or like, I'm leaning on Dave. They don't try to help me with anything. They're just like, "What drugs are you on? How fucked up are you? How much have you had to drink?" And
Sure, sure.
I'm sober. You could pick
You
up
couldn't
some of
tell
my
from your
blood off the
face, but
street and test it. Stone cold sober.
probably less clean. There's more likely to have more drugs from picking it up
From
off the
yeah, some
street
sidewalk
downtown than
drugs
the
in it
yeah.
for sure. But, they literally just wanted to know what drugs I was on, and not in like, "Tell us so that we don't," whatever. It's like, "What who do you get your drugs from?"
Yeah, yeah.
And, it was just that made it even more terrifying because then there's all these just, like, bright lights and fucking people with mean mugs standing around you and shit.
Yeah, no one's like, "Can I help you?"
Exactly, until the paramedics show up, and it's like it literally seemed like an angel coming down from heaven. There was, like, this tiny little EMT, and she comes up, and she, like, puts her hand on my leg, and she says my name, she's like, "Evan, are you okay?" I'm like, "No, help me," and
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
like, a line of, like, 6 grown-ass police officers watch as, like, these 2 5 foot nothing EMTs try to put me on a gurney and are, like, putting me into the ambulance and everything, and, I tried doing a bit about it, but literally, I was wearing this shamrock necklace that broke off. As they're loading me into the ambulance, one of the cops picks up the necklace, throws it at me, and
Oh,
says,
damn.
"Don't forget your good luck charm."
Fuck.
It's like,
What a
these
dick.
fucking assholes,
Yeah, man.
dude.
It's like you're not on drugs or well, your friends
Yeah,
are probably too fucked up to be like,
I
He
mean,
was."
I was very
Oh, well,
just
yeah,
kinda,
you were like,
like, I was just in a daze,
"Sure,
eyes
sure."
glazed over, I lost so much blood after the ambulance left, a fire truck had to come up, and they had to, like, spray the sidewalk off with a fire
Oh,
hose.
shit.
It looked like someone just filled up, like, a few Home Depot buckets full of red paint and just started splashing them on the street. It was insane.
So when did you know you were safe? Like, when were they like, "There's no
When
gunshots
the
here?"
EMT came up to me is kinda when I
Were you like,
started to be
"I'm
like
gonna die?" Was there any like,
so
I mean, that much blood and you don't know what's going on?
yeah, well, I thought I was gonna get the scariest part was when I was, like, around the corner and I heard Adam yelling at Dave to get up
Okay, yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I
That's
didn't know
scary.
that he had fallen, I thought he had gotten
Yeah,
shot,
yeah, for sure. That would
and
be
so
the
that
first
was
thought.
I was certain I was gonna die, there was nowhere to go, there was nothing to do, and I was, like, losing control of my facility, like, I couldn't walk, my leg hurt so bad, I was so woozy, and then the moment I kinda snapped to I was in the ambulance, I only had 1 pair of jeans, they cut the jeans off of me, and they were about to cut my hoodie off of me, and
This
now
one? No,
not
not
this
this one.
oh, no, no, no. Uh, that was the moment where I was like, "Wait, wait, wait, like, let me take my stop cutting my clothes off of me, like, let me take my hoodie off, it's fine," and, like, at that moment, I knew I was gonna
Yeah. Were you
survive.
able to take it off? Like, or were they like,
I was
"You
able
can"
to take it off,
okay.
but I still hadn't, like I hadn't seen what I looked like, and it felt like a horror movie because the first time that I actually saw myself was when I got to the hospital, and they're kind of rolling me through the hospital, and they have those big, like, mirrored half domes on the ceilings, so
No,
when you're,
I
like,
didn't
going
know
around
those.
corners, you can see it's like a big
Okay, yeah,
mirror
yeah, I know what
on
you're
the
saying.
top, but it's like
Yeah,
it's
to
got
see
this
around the
fisheye
corners. Yeah,
effect,
yeah.
and so they're rolling me through, and I just see my decimated face in the reflection of this fucking fisheye lens, and it just like I started crying. I was like, I've
Oh,
fucked
damn.
myself up heavy because I could feel.
By your own hand too, you know, like,
Yeah,
you
by
did
my
this to
own
you.
stupid mistake,
I mean,
I
yeah,
could
like, no
see
one
there was
else
like
did it to
fucking
you.
bones sticking out of my face,
Oh,
and I
God.
could feel it all floating around, and
Ugh.
I felt like jelly.
Yeah, that's
And
terrifying.
yeah, it was so fucked up because like that's like right where all your senses are,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all right there, and they're like putting needles in my face to like numb
Yeah.
it up, and they're sewing it up, and it's all like
That has to
uh
be the worst
yeah, I
experience.
forget what music video it is, but there's like an Eminem music video where he's like in the hospital and like him and Dr. Dre are like operating on him, and it looks all gnarly. It felt like I was in that music video. It might be You Look Like, or not. What the fuck am I talking about? My Name Is, or Real Slim Shady. I don't know. It's not that
Yeah, yeah,
important, but
yeah.
it was yeah, it was terrifying.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough.
And the
Dude.
worst of the pain, I had to get 3 facial reconstruction
Really?
surgeries.
You've gone through
Yeah.
3 facial
It was
reconstruction
all in the same
this year?
this year in April.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it was all at once. I guess they just did 3 different
Okay, well,
things.
like,
So I guess it was
sections.
I only went
One big
under
surgery.
one time. Yeah, it
Okay.
was like reconstruction, a septoplasty, I forget the
Reconstruction of your
terms.
nose?
Yes.
What's a septoplasty?
A septoplasty? I'd fallen so hard it had deviated my septum.
Okay, yeah.
And so they cut you open
Had to
right
get up,
here,
yep,
and then
yep.
they just kind of peel it all
Oh,
back.
god
Also,
damn.
if you're ever going into
Dude.
surgery, don't Google the surgery before you get it. That like
Yeah, that sounds so
so they
fucking
so I
rough.
was just like looking at these pictures of just these opened
Dude.
up faces, and
Ugh.
yeah, waking up from that surgery was the most it redefined what I knew pain to be.
For sure, I
It
mean,
it was they like I woke up just screaming, and they started pumping me so full of fentanyl that I stopped breathing, and then they had to like pump me, and then they had to like give me
put
Narcan.
adrenaline in.
Yeah, to like wake me up from overdosing on
Jesus
fentanyl.
Christ.
I was just
You've been
like,
through it, dude.
it
This
was
fucking
fucking terrible, and I had these giant fucking splints like on the inside of my skull. That yeah, so this picture here, like I mean you can't see it because they're inside of me, but just oh, that was
Jesus
one of
Christ.
the most the surgery recovery was worse than the injury for sure. Like it was the most
Because you're present for
miserable.
the experience.
Exactly, yeah, and I stayed with my mom that week because I could not operate as an
Yeah, well, that's
individual.
nice she was there for you.
Yeah, she was. I love my
Does
mom. Hey,
that, yeah, does
mom.
that really, like, make you appreciate that more? Like, it
Yeah.
has to really
No, it
put those
seriously
things.
does. Cause like, we know a lot of people that like moved from out of state to do comedy or whatever, and they don't
Yeah,
they don't have their moms
Yeah.
here. They would have to deal with all that
Yeah,
shit
they
by
don't have their moms
themselves.
here.
And
Yeah, that's why I
so
don't wanna move to a different state to do comedy. My mom's
my
not
mom's
there.
not there. But I just remember I was like in my mom's living room, she has this clock, and it's like lights up, and it's like dials that kind of like switch each second, and it's very visually stimulating. I just remember for an entire week I was just like on an insane amount of opioids, just like laying in a chair looking like that, just watching the clock, like losing any
Yeah,
concept
it's like
of what time
ASMR, yeah, yeah.
exists. Yeah, like it was
Dude, you know what I've been watching? I've been
was
watching
wacky.
yeah. It just reminded me of this, ASMR. Dude, I've been going to sleep to this chick doing these hand movement ASMRs, dude. They're so crazy.
Oh wow. Hand move?
Yeah, it's like oh, yeah, no, it's kinda like, sleight of hand stuff. Like you were saying,
Oh, I love
you
that
did
kind of
that you
stuff.
did street magic? We gotta get into that.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to be a magician. That was my first dream.
Yeah. Dude, I've been trying to do this fucking ASMR bit so hard because I
I've
think
heard it a few
it's
times. I'm a
I
fan.
thank you. But I can't well, one, it's hard to explain to people what ASMR is if they don't know.
Right.
And then the second thing is like,
And it's in the context of an open mic, it's hard to whisper,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I feel like that's a bit that would like crush in a club, but it's hard to dial in at open mics because it demands such attention.
Okay, back in business. Sorry, it's some
Hello.
technical difficulties here. So I was watching
We're
this
back.
Or they might
So this is
Just
like what I was picturing you just like ASMR
Whoa.
now, all fentanyl up.
Yeah. Just like
So I was
watching
thinking
this
about
in my
like, okay, I
mind.
gotta like do shit like this for more with my bit.
Yeah.
feels
Wow, I'm kind of
comfortable
like losing track of which
to you.
fingers are which.
Yeah, and I mean I'm like watching it while I'm sleeping, fucking right
Whoa.
here,
Yeah.
just like on my phone.
Do you ever like come to and it's still on and you're just whoa.
No, well, no, because I usually, well, sometimes I guess,
Yeah.
but
Does it affect your dreams in any
not that I've
weird
noticed.
ways?
But that's why I think another funny part of the bit is like, what if these bitches are trying to like brainwash you when you're
Yeah.
sleeping?
Yeah,
It's like they know you'll be asleep at a certain point, and then they're like, 9/11 was an inside job.
I have a theory about that.
Okay.
If you watch Hulu,
Uh-huh.
the ads are always mastered way louder than the show.
Yeah.
Like
I
way
think
louder.
That's illegal to do in broadcast television now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Hulu's still doing it. So
Well, it's not broadcast, yeah.
somebody arrest them. Cuz I think
It's
that
not broadcast.
the purpose of doing that is so that you'll fall asleep to the show and then that'll just kind of be quiet and then the loudness of the advertisements are going to trigger your subconscious and then you're going to wake up and want to buy a Kit Kat.
Maybe. But yeah, it's all subliminal. You know, even if you're like
Mhm.
in the background, you're cleaning while that's in the background.
Yeah.
When that you hear that thing in the at the higher volume,
Triggers something.
Yeah. And like with kids and stuff, like the way they were
Mhm.
doing that in the mornings for like kids cartoons and stuff,
Oh,
they were like, "This
wow.
is too manipulative. You can't
Yeah.
do this." They, yeah, they definitely
Bastards.
tried to put the kibosh on it.
Bastards. And it's a no, because then I'm sitting there like adjusting the volume every time the ads come on.
Yeah. So let's get into this. So you've only been doing comedy like 2 years,
2 years, yeah.
but you started off doing street magic. How old were you?
I was little. I was let me think. When I guess like
You got the look.
ninth grade is
So
when
it's like
it
what, 15, 16? No,
like
14?
13, 14.
Okay.
Um
And you're going out on 16th Street in Buskin.
mhm.
You know what this is called? It reminded me of Penn Jillette. Have you ever read any of his books?
Yeah, I've read a lot
he
of his
was
stuff. I love
talking
Penn
about. Yeah,
Jillette.
yeah, I love all his books.
Have
Have
yeah,
you read the newest one? Well, it's like a fictional book, but
I have
it's
not.
called Random, and it's great.
I'm
I did a
into
book
that.
review.
I
of Random.
saw Penn and Teller when I went to Vegas.
Nice.
I loved it. Nobody went
stuff.
with me. It was my birthday and I had to go
I
by
want to do that.
myself.
Well, should have called me, bud.
Well,
You'll never be alone at a Penn and Teller show now because
hell
we're
yeah.
friends.
They're coming. They're coming
Okay,
soon. I
I
think
know
we should go.
Nick, Dean, and Georgia Ray. They're into the
Yeah?
Comstock now.
Okay. Hell yeah.
They're into Penn and Teller.
Yeah, I love Penn and Teller. I love magic in general. But yeah, so like I think I fit like I always had an interest in it. Like my aunt got me
There's always something, that mysterious thing about you. You're like, I was always into the occult. I could always lift things with my mind.
Yeah. I always had a weird fixation with David Blaine. But yeah, honestly, like my dad just showed me David Blaine specials when I was a kid.
Okay.
And like my aunt got me this magic set, and it was just something I always had a fixation with.
I have a magic book. if you had this one.
Let's see.
Keep
Is it
talking.
the Royal Road to Card Magic? Is it Mnemonica? Is it right behind the Shakespeare? I see it. Is this your book? I knew you were gonna pick that one. Wow, the complete course.
Here we go. This is the one.
Look at that beauty, huh? That's a
got
handsome
this.
fella.
Because I thought doing sleight of hand magic was a good way to pick up chicks.
It's not.
Well, I learned that. I learned that eventually.
I used to sneak out of my house and honestly, yeah, YouTube was like way more helpful than books. Because you could just like actually see them do it. But I
Sure.
think that learning it
Take a
from
look at that.
YouTube.
Go ahead and touch that.
I mean-
Let the people know it's real.
Thought it was gonna zap me. Wow. Wait, all the pages are blank.
Because I've absorbed
The magic
it.
was in you the whole time. Oh, I
Uh,
love this stuff.
But yeah, this is before. I mean, this book was definitely published before YouTube.
Yeah,
was,
I think that
popular.
learning it on YouTube,
Way more beneficial.
well, it's beneficial in learning it quicker, but I think it's a detriment in the term that you don't develop a unique style. Because it's all just copy and paste. You're just doing it the same way that guy did it. Whereas if you're just reading how to do it innately, you're gonna find your own way.
Own flair. Interesting.
Exactly.
It's interesting that you
exactly.
bring that out with the magic, because as well as finding your own like voice with comedy.
Yeah,
There's kind of
exactly.
a
If you're
thrill at
just
that.
doing an impression of,
Yeah. Do you feel
whoever
like
the
you were
hell.
doing an impression of anybody at the beginning?
I mean, a lot of people said I was just doing Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, "No, I'm doing Stephen Wright, okay? I'm just doing dirty Stephen Wright, which is
I thought you were
essentially
doing
Anthony
Dylan
Jeselnik."
Dean. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, yeah, I love Dylan Dean, dude.
Yeah, yeah. You and Dylan are like the same guy. I mean,
Oh, I appreciate
it's like
that.
he split into two people, and one's you.
I'll take it. Absolutely.
One's got all the piercings, and one's just.
I got my ears pierced at Claire's in 6th grade. I know what's up, all right?
Yeah. So okay. So
Um,
your dad showed you magic stuff. You got into it.
yeah, and then
You just like doing magic. You like showing people things, or
yeah, yeah, it was so fun, and a lot of it was just doing it to myself in the mirror.
Yeah, that's how
Um,
do the
same.
sleight of hand stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And once I got to 9th grade, I stopped taking the school bus to school, started taking the city bus.
Like those suckers.
Exactly. And I quickly realized that on the city bus, you don't have to get off when it's the school. You could just go all the way downtown with a deck of cards and make $200 in 10 minutes. So I would get a little crowd around me. I had like a 10-minute set that I would do.
Wow,
They would
yeah.
all
And
give
you
me like
developed that all organically, or were you watching like people on YouTube and just kind of copying what they were doing?
I was just copying what they were
Okay,
doing.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't inventing tricks or anything.
No, yeah, but like just the moxie it takes to go get a crowd going at fucking 14, and you're like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you these tricks. Come
Yeah,
on, like
and then they would all like the charm of a kid by himself doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, like they would give me a bunch of money, and I just like the way I started to think about it. I was like, well, I'm going to school so that I can get a job, so I can make money. I'm already making more money in a day than my mom does in
Yeah.
10 minutes. So I would like go get like a fancy fucking steak lunch and everything and
Where
just
where are
spend
you
all the
going
money.
down, dude? That's such a
Paramount
baller.
Cafe,
Fuck yeah, dude.
which is
Oh,
actually
yeah.
where my parents met.
Oh wow, okay.
3 margaritas now.
Yeah.
They changed it. But
R.I.P.
yeah, I would just go like Yard House,
What year is
Earl's.
this?
I mean, I probably like 2015,
Okay.
2014.
Yeah, I was around.
Yeah.
I went and I played my guitar out on 16th Street once or twice when I was young.
Yeah,
just to,
dude.
Just to say I did.
Did you see Robo Mike out there?
I don't remember. I do remember singing. Yes, I've seen him, but that
Yeah.
wasn't not that.
Well, there was other magicians on the mall that I had some beef with
Okay, yeah,
because I was not nearly as good as they were,
but
but
you
I
had
was
a
a
thing.
kid.
Yeah, you had a thing.
So like the charm of a kid doing it, they're not going to want to watch some fucking old guy that's good at magic. They want to see some kid that's kind of good at and he was getting pissed cuz I was like
You're
I
taking
was
his
I was
business.
bleeding and like showing how a lot of the shit was done just by not being very good at it.
Oh, okay.
And so he's
They
like,
call that bleeding. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's very like, hey, you fucking keep this in our circle.
Yeah.
Like it's very like
Exactly. Exactly.
cutthroat in that way.
And sometimes we would hang out. Sometimes he would show me something, and like if I could figure out how to do it, he'd show me this other
Oh,
thing.
nice,
And it, like,
nice. Ooh, like
was,
you got to earn it.
yeah,
Dude, you're
yeah.
like, yeah, it's like totally like fucking storybook.
It was
Like I'm learning a skill thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved doing it so much. And then at nights, I would sneak out of my house sometimes, and I would get on the bus, and I would go to a PT strip club in Aurora
Wow,
off
okay.
Havana,
Yeah.
and I would do magic in the alley for the strippers that were on their smoke breaks,
Oh,
and they would like
shit.
give me
How'd
their
you
singles.
find that way? How'd you find that place?
Just I mean, like I was obsessed with sneaking out. Every single night I would leave and I would just
wander
till I found something. And I knew it was there because we like drive past it a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. I drive past it all the time.
Mm-hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, I'm just gonna go see what I just had a morbid curiosity about it, and I never went in. I still have never been inside of a strip club, but they would come out in their
It's interesting
outfits
that you
and
have these
everything,
weird
and-
like oh, I'm hanging around and doing all this crazy stuff, but I've never done this. It's weird that you have like a hard line of like, I don't
Yeah.
drink except once a year.
once
or like,
a year.
You're like,
Yeah,
I offered you some coffee. You're like, I don't drink coffee. I only drink it once.
I only like Red Bull.
Yeah, what is this idea of like, I don't know. You're different. You're being different in a way, right? Is that
I
something
guess
you're
so.
into? You're
Yeah,
like,
no, yeah, for sure. Gotta
yeah.
stand out. I think it's stubbornness more than anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly,
I get that. I mean, comics, I mean, that's a big motivating factor.
Yeah, yeah, not because I want to, but because you think I can't.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know?
Spite, dude. That spite is a big one.
Exactly.
I remember Yeah, that's been a big motivator for me my whole life.
Absolutely everything I've ever done has been out of spite. So,
Dude, I feel that so hard. You were talking about Dr. Kev on Ethan Everhart's podcast,
yeah.
and I had him on the pod earlier in the year, and I was trying to do the spite joke because I
Yeah.
usually ask people what motivates you, and and I'm always like, oh, the correct answer is spite.
Yeah.
But he's so old and wise. He was like, oh man, that's not good. Like he was
Yeah.
like, he made me like rethink, like, hey man, I really got to
Like,
change my
shit.
life here.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm sure I will at some point, but
I mean, I've been finding it hard not to lose weight when people aren't, when my
mhm.
dad's basically not calling me a fat piece of shit. So
Yeah, come to the roast battle. We'll make you lose some weight. It'll be
yeah,
good.
that's one thing I've steered clear of because my ego can't take it. My ego, and you're the roast king of Denver.
I feel like
Just so
my
people know,
my
I have
ego
the roast
needs it in a weird
to
way,
be
you know?
so it motivates you to keep going.
Yeah, like I need
So
to
you can't
be
rest
I
on your
need to be made
laurels.
fun of.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah,
keep going.
exactly.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah, so you're finding these weird spots to busk. You're doing your
mhm.
magic.
I would go to like malls and stuff too, like stand outside of malls and
Yeah, that's
just do magic. But then there was like a hard point where like I turned like 16 and just my face just broke out in acne. My voice got all weird and people were just like off put by me approaching them. And I
oh
was like,
no.
all right, I'm done with this.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I made a bunch of money and I had a bunch of fun for
Yeah,
a
so
while.
you ended up dropping out of high school, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
At what age?
So I don't know. My high school experience was interesting. So I went to this place called DSISD for ninth grade, the Denver School of Innovation and Sustainable Design. And I for the first couple of months, I was
Did you
like,
get kicked out of a regular high school? What are you going to this for?
no, that was the high
That
school I
was the high
like
school.
opted to
Okay.
go to. It was like the first year they had been a school and everything, and then
Okay.
it seemed like they had like individual. What were we talking about?
You're bored at
Board
school.
at school.
Yeah.
Yes, high school. So, when I went to that school, I kind of quickly realized that like, and maybe it was just because they were a new school, maybe they've polished it since then, but it wasn't like individualized learning plans. It was like isolated learning. So they would find like the 3 or 4 kids in the class that were good at a certain subject, and then they would get taught by the actual teacher. And then everyone else would just be taught by an intern and kind of like thrown to the wayside. It's like, we don't believe in you. So we're going to only teach the kids we believe in.
So you felt rejected, so you rejected them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in a way, like, I mean, I was part of the kids getting taught by the actual
Oh,
teacher,
okay.
but it's still like I would do magic and like my dad had just left and I just saw my grandma die in like this violent way.
Oh yeah,
One
there's a
of
lot of death following
yeah,
me here. I thought
one
that
of
was
my
interesting.
classmates I just seen got hit by a car and killed.
Yeah,
Like,
like you've seen people die.
yeah,
You
multiple.
witnessed it. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
And
that
so
has to change you a little
yeah,
bit.
I mean, like literally I think those are like the three big, all in the same year. My dad leaves and I see 2 people die.
Why did your dad leave? Just parents got divorced?
No, my parents were divorced since I was a little kid. My dad, he just had like a super bad drug and alcohol
Okay.
problem, and he just like left to Seattle, and
Because that's where the drugs are.
that's where the drugs are. Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
you need spite to motivate you, boy. Here you
Exactly.
go.
I'm
I'm
getting the
leaving.
hell out of here. So yeah, it was just sorry.
You're fine. Do you want
Um,
more water?
I know I'm all right. I'm all right. Do you have a like a throat lozenge I could suckle on?
I don't.
All right, that's okay. Ethan Everhart's podcast has throat lozenges.
Does he?
Just saying. Just saying. Anyway.
That is weird. Okay.
Um
Well, does he have magic books? No, he has
no,
fucking
no,
Nazi
he doesn't.
books.
He has not he has big old
Yeah,
Nazi
that he
books.
fucking refuses to
front
get
and
rid of.
center.
Yeah, I know.
Um so yeah, I just kind of started not going. And like at first I realized I was like, okay, they don't call home until third period. So I can skip first and second period going downtown, make a few dollars, come back. And then I just like, I don't even care. I just would not go. And my attendance got so bad that they were like, you can't come here anymore. Like you're so far behind where everybody else is. It's our first year. We don't have another place for you to fall into. Like you can't come here. Um, so they so I decided I was gonna try online school. But Denver Online has a campus. I was like, this isn't really online school, but I also needed to do credit recovery. So for like 2 weeks, I went to George Washington High School, in between ninth and 10th grade, and to credit recovery to get me ready for 10th grade.
Okay.
And I like smoked PCP accidentally and like didn't recover.
Accidentally?
I just thought it was weed. Like there was
Who
this,
gave it to you? The magician outside? He was like, "Here, son,
yeah.
smoke this."
No, there was this kid, his name was Kale, and he, like, faked his own death later, but we were, like, outside of school one day. He's like, "Hey, man, you wanna smoke a blunt?" It's like, "Fuck yeah, I wanna smoke a blunt." And he knew. He definitely knew
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he was just one of those maniacal kids, and he gave me this blunt laced with PCP, and I smoke it, and we're, like,
Yeah, every time you're
walking.
fucking with your nose, I'm like, "Take it easy, guy."
Oh,
All
God,
right,
yeah.
yeah, you're fucking like
Um, we're walking to the school, and, like, my vision just starts going, like, black and white. Like I can see everything, and then I just like can't see anything, and then I can see in grayscale, and I like started getting all paranoid, and
Game of
finally I
Thrones,
got to the
grayscale.
class, and I got convinced that there were magnets in my brain, and they were like getting stuck to the desk because like the drawer underneath the desk was metal, so my head was stuck, and the teachers were mad that I was putting my head on my desk, so I would like pry it off, and it would just like snap back to the desk, and I would pry it off. It would
And
snap
to
back.
them, they're like, "This guy is fucking
Yeah,
hitting his head
to
on the
them,
desk."
I'm just in the back of the class, like in
Yeah, yeah.
Hereditary, just
Yeah,
smacking my
yeah, dude, that has to
fucking
be
brain into the
terrifying as a
desk.
teacher. I'd be like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god."
and so I went to Denver Online in 10th grade, and that clear like it did. I just did not care, and so. Or no, that was ninth grade still. Yeah, I went to like
Dude,
3 different
okay.
high schools by ninth grade. 10th grade, I was like, "I'm gonna go to Thomas Jefferson." It's where all my friends from middle school
TJ.
went. That's where I wanna be. Go Spartans.
Hey, I was a Spartan.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Greeley West, though. We were
Oh,
Greeley West Spartans.
go Spartans. What were
Go
your
Spartans.
colors?
Blue and gold, or
That's
like
so
blue and
much
yellow,
better.
like light blue, baby blue, sky blue, and then like a yellow.
Our colors were, like, brown and yellow.
Interesting. Like old
Disgusting
school
colors.
Broncos.
No, that's exactly why. So the Broncos
Okay,
used to
easy on your nose.
practice on our the Broncos practiced on our
The Broncos
field.
used to come to Greeley and practice at UNC.
Oh, hell yeah. But this was, like, way back in the day. So the school would inherit all of their used gear, and that's why
Okay, got you,
those
got
became
you.
the
Yeah,
colors.
yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the same cycle happened almost immediately where, like, for the first few months,
Some
I was,
kid
like,
tricked you into smoking
into it.
PCP
Yeah,
again.
I was like, "This place sucks, man."
Okay, so
Uh,
you're bored. You get out. You want to do magic.
yeah,
Is
I
that what
mean,
you thought you were gonna do?
that's what I wanted to be was a magician for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
like I pictured you out there with a little top hat and a little
A
suit
little
doing
bow
your thing.
tie and
Yeah,
everything.
were you just
Da,
wearing
da, da, da. Yeah,
a smaller purple hoodie?
exactly. No, I wore, like, 5XL clothes back then. It was bad.
Dope.
Yeah, it was super dope. Um And so, yeah, I kinda dropped out of that in 10th grade. First semester of 10th grade, I kinda left, and I just never found another school to go to. The same time, my cousin had gotten, like, re-diagnosed with cancer. She needed to get, like, all these bone marrow transplants and stuff. So I moved in with my aunt, and, I just started working at, like, 15. I just became a dishwasher, and I just didn't go to school, and I would just, like, be there for them for all their doctor's appointments and stuff. I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'm just, not gonna do high school." Like, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
making money, I have a job, I have a skill set that's niche
I
enough
love
to make
washing
money
dishes.
off of. Yeah, exactly, and
That
then,
was one of my first jobs.
yeah, where at?
Perkins. And then I
Perkins.
also washed dishes
Good
downtown
diner.
on 16th Street at Honor Society. So good at it, I got to
Wow.
be a bartender.
Wow,
I know. I
that's
was
awesome.
yeah. Well, yeah, that place was kind of weird. So if you were just competent at anything, you really shined. So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like I kind of stopped doing magic and I just set my mind towards like I'm just
dishwashing.
gonna work my way up till I fucking own a restaurant or something. Like I wanted to be a chef at the
Yeah, yeah.
time. So my cousin like she finished all of her bone marrow transplants and stuff and I don't know, just my aunt got pregnant and tensions got high, and I got like kicked out of the house essentially. And I had a girlfriend at the time who lived in Boulder, and I like had nowhere to go, so I just moved in with her and her family in Boulder when I had like just turned 17. And her mom was like, "You can live here, but the contingency is that you need
Contingency.
to finish high school." Yeah, so the rule was
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
had to go back to high school, but I was so far I was in what should have been my senior year with a total of 35 out of a needed 240 credits to graduate. So the school that I went to, they had an advanced credit recovery program where you would take a series of pre-tests. Whatever pre-test you pass, they would just give you credits as if you took that class, and then whatever pre-test you didn't pass, they would you would like take that class, and it was a way to really fast get to a point where you could graduate. And you had to take pre-test to see what pre-test you could go and pass. It took me 2 days. I was the first person in the history of the program to pass every single pre-test. And
Yeah, you said you're good at taking tests. Like, do you
yeah,
just see the matrix in there or whatever? Like,
yeah.
do you know
Well,
like percentages or some kind of magic trick you learned?
I mean, there's a lot. You have to know some of the stuff, but the first thing I do is I always take it backwards.
Oh,
'Cause,
okay.
like, a lot of the times, like, the answer to question 33 will be in question 52 or
Okay.
whatever.
Interesting.
And then, uh, I don't know how to describe like, if 2 of the if it's like a math question, 2 of the answers start with a 4 and 2 of the answers end with a 2, it's 42. Like, you can break down the psychology of the people making the test and how they're trying to trick you,
Yeah.
and then just
Yeah, you're
kinda,
working on a different level than most people, I feel like.
it's manipulation mostly.
It's
Um
interesting. It's interesting that you see it that way.
So I passed all the pre-tests or all the pre-tests. So they're like, all right, tomorrow you're not going to come to the school. You're going to go to this facility and just take the tests. So that night I go to work at the melting pot and I break my spine falling down the stairs and my
Right, yeah.
skull.
The melting
Yeah.
uh another big injury. And you put
That
yourself through it.
at that time, worst I had ever hurt myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Still maybe the worst,
Because you're
but
dishwashing, they tell you to go down the stairs, take your break, you're not feeling
mm-hmm,
well.
mm-hmm. Fucking tumbled down the stairs, and then I didn't go back to take the rest of the pretest for 8 months. I, like, had to relearn how to walk. I was, again, on a bunch of fucking pills and just zoning out. It was great, though, because it
And your
happened, like
girlfriend's mom let you stay there the whole time?
no, I lived there, yeah.
She's
Well,
just like, now
also
you're fucking
yeah, I mean,
fucking dumbass boyfriend who
yeah, we
fucking
we had, like, a
broke his
basement
spine.
that was ours and everything, and so it was my house, and I, like yeah, I was living
It
there.
wasn't really your house.
So, well, it was
I
kinda
don't
my house.
know.
Like, she
Yeah.
moved out, and I lived there longer than she did.
Your girlfriend or the mom?
The mom. The
Okay.
mom at a certain point she had, like, 3 kids, the oldest of which was my girlfriend, and while we were still 17 before any of us had graduated high
And
school, she
you're not even 18 yet.
yeah, she took the younger 2 kids, moves out, leaves me, my girlfriend, and the ex-stepdad just to live in that, and she still lives in that house. I lived there till I was 20. Uh, yeah, and,
So like 2 years ago.
yeah, yeah, like, right when that's, like,
Yeah,
kinda
you
what
broke up and you got into comedy. That's another big trope I
exactly,
think with comedians.
exactly. So, yeah, I go back 8 months later after, like
Wait, let's tell the sorry. Well, you break your back at the melting pot and then
yes,
you get a bunch of money.
not immediately.
Sure, but you
So
because there was like, hey, you have to go to our. Sorry, I've just listened to this on Ethan Everhardt's podcast, so but
hell
I'll let you
yeah.
tell your story. Sorry.
Yeah, so, like, what happens immediately is that I get workers' comp, which is, like, 60% of what I was making. So, like, every other Friday, I would get $500 just for nothing,
Well, I mean,
essentially.
you were injured,
I was very injured,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's not like you weren't.
Yeah, that's true. That I couldn't work, but I don't know if I should actually say this part. It's fine. It's all settled at this point. I got another job while I was still
Ah,
unable to work, and they paid me on alternate Fridays. So every single Friday, I was either getting 1,000 or $500, and I had like no bills because I was still 17.
they weren't making you pay rent over at your girlfriend's.
I was a kid.
Yeah, but you were also doing like adult shit.
Yeah.
living with your girlfriend, fucking not going to school,
I mean,
working.
once I turned 18, I started paying rent,
Okay,
but
but
it wasn't until I turned 18.
all right, big
Uh,
difference, huh?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was still technically a high schooler.
No, you weren't because you weren't going to high school.
Well, I was in between. I still had to take the pretest. So eventually I go back, I take the pretest, pass them, and then they give me a GED. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. My brother's got
General
one of those.
education diploma. So they like mail that to me and I have it. They're like, but you still get to walk in the ceremony with the rest of the kids. And I was like, my grandma's gonna
that
get to see
important for
me
you?
graduate high
Okay.
school. It wasn't important for me. It was important for my grandma to see
Wasn't dead yet.
me. No, she was still alive and unwell at the
Because
time.
earlier you mentioned you saw you
Yeah.
she died.
Well,
I wasn't
no, that my maternal grandmother died when I was 14.
okay.
Paternal grandmother sewer slide at 20. 2 days later,
Sewer slide?
suicide. I don't
Okay.
want to get demonetized.
We were pretty far in.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll
Oh
get there.
man,
We'll
your
get there.
grandma committed suicide?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
That's all
just
right. And then that's how I start comedy. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, you get your GED, you get a
So
walk.
I get my GED, I get to walk. My grandma gets to see me
And she's
graduate
like, I
high
can kill
school.
myself now. He's
And then
graduated.
exactly, I've seen it
I'm
all.
sorry, I'm
Now I've
sorry.
seen everything. So I'm like walking across the stage and they hand me a diploma. Like, what the fuck is this? So I have both. I was there for
Does it have
4
your name on it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
was there for 4 days. I have a diploma and a GED.
Yeah, I mean, if they looked it up officially, I don't think you'd actually have the credits. You know, if you had to back it up in a court of law or something.
I mean, I have the
Yeah, but if they go back and they look at your, school records, they'd be like,
right.
"Oh, he didn't show up." So,
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't know what bookers are
Like
like.
if you're trying to
I
get
need proof
into a
of your.
college or something.
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to
Yeah, I know.
do
Yeah.
that.
Uh,
So yeah, so I get that.
and you're making bank, and then
Making bank, and then the day of that graduation, I like move into a house in Fed Heights with the girlfriend. We only lived there for like 6
different
months.
girlfriend.
No, same girlfriend.
girl.
Same girlfriend from 16 to 20. We're only there for like 6 months, and then we move back into the house in Boulder. And I start paying rent then when we move back
Okay.
in 6 months later after we're 18 and I'm like the manager of
And
Fat
you're like
Shack
in love
on
with
the
these
hill.
girls. Like you're like, we're gonna get married or live the rest of our lives together. Or you're
Yeah,
just like,
I
what
got
is
her
it?
pregnant when we were 17.
Whoa.
Yeah. Miscarriage, that worked out. I didn't see that one.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it was
You've
pretty
lived
wild.
such a crazy life so far. Like no wonder. Like you're like, yeah, I could roast anybody.
Come on, dude. I could call anybody fat.
I could see 8 people die.
Yeah. So
Do you think that's like a factor in it?
I
You're
saw
like, I don't
another
give a
person
fuck
die when I was
about
18.
anything.
It was my cousin. She the one with cancer. She died. Yeah, and right in front, I was like, "Ah, fuck, dude, another one. I got to get out of here."
I mean, if you got into therapy and talk to anyone besides me about this,
You're the first.
you just talk about it on podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cheaper than therapy.
But not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not therapy.
Honestly,
Art is not therapy. Something I learned in therapy.
I took acid when I was 16 and it fixed everything.
Okay, if that's
There's more truth to that than I'm being humorous about it, but it actually like
were you fucked up for a while? Like, I mean, did that
Yeah,
take a
as
toll on you?
I was like as a kid, I was very like angry and destructive and confused
Yeah, you
and
said
like
you're punching
punching
lockers.
lockers. Yeah, like so like my dad he would get violent when he got
Sure,
fucked up.
Yeah.
And so I just had all this violence inflicted upon me and
Yeah.
I would just deny that it was happening. Like even I would just lie to myself and be like that's not true. So I just had all this like anger and just confusion that I just like inflicted upon the lockers.
And yeah, at least
and
you weren't
then
taking it out on people, right? You weren't like hitting your girlfriends, right?
I mean only when she talked back. Only when she
Not a
burnt
great time
the
to joke around,
casserole.
buddy.
No,
But
so
I mean, I get that you were like looking for love. You know, you really latched onto a partner.
yeah,
for a
yeah,
long time.
and then like she actually like introduced me to acid and I just had this like insane
Acid's my therapist.
trip where I just like confronted everything and I like wasn't angry anymore after that. And I mean I still have like problems. Like it still fucks with me and like
Sure,
PTSD
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
But and I was on like antidepressants for a while, but I would
Okay.
abuse
Actual
them.
medication.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but yeah, so then yeah, I lived there till I was 20, and then like when I'm 20, grandma kills herself. 2 days later, she breaks up with me, and I like kicks me out of the house because she like immediately. Well, like we broke up slowly because like we saw it was coming, but we had known for like the
4
past
plus
4
years,
years
yeah.
was each other, and she had like this weird sheltered upbringing where like I was like the first one that kind of showed her a world beyond the one that her mom curated for her in a way. And so we were very afraid to like
Yeah.
go experience the world. So it was like, let's have an open relationship. Let's just drag this out as
Yeah,
painfully
yeah.
and slowly
Yeah,
as we
let's hope.
can. And then eventually she just got a new boyfriend and she was like, all right, this is done. You can't live here anymore. He's mad that you're here. So I just moved into my Honda Civic. I had just started a job at Comedy Works and I like needed something to do every night. And that was open mics.
Fuck, dude.
Hmm.
And then you found this like weird group of lost boys,
Yeah. Yeah. And
which is comedy.
that's right. Yeah. And it just like, I don't know, it made sense. I didn't have to, it was a group of people I didn't have to like hold my tongue around. And
Yeah,
that
yeah.
meant a lot. So
Yeah, sounds like you don't hold your tongue at all, and that's what made you the Denver roast champion.
for now,
You think
for now.
anybody's gonna unseat you? You think
Yeah.
anyone's coming for the belt?
Yeah. I mean,
You're looking in the rear view. Who you seeing? Who's coming up on you?
Adam Gilliland,
I don't even
Jake
know
the
who that
Pizza,
is. Jake the
Spaghetti
Pizza.
Jake.
Spaghetti Jake, come on.
He
Come on.
is a fucking beat. If you were at the
No,
show
I've never
last
seen
night, you
sorry,
would feel
yeah.
a different way.
I only seen beatbox, so I guess I
He
never.
is a
Sorry,
beast.
Jake. I like you. I just only I
I
was just
got you,
thinking
dog.
if those beatboxing things could hold up to
It's
your
a
sick burns.
it's a lot more than beatboxing.
Okay, yeah. Well,
He's a
I'm excited to
freaking
see it, but yeah,
yeah. You
I don't like
should come watch him. They're good. He was
I
on
don't
fire last night. It was insane.
I don't like the meanness of it.
It's very mean. It's
Yeah,
very
and I don't
mean.
that turns me off.
But I mean, I feel like not to get all gushy about it, but like it
It's like
allows
out of
you.
love kind of a thing.
Well, it's out of love, but it also allows you to be vulnerable about your insecurities. And once you can laugh about the things you're insecure about, you can heal from them. You know, I
You
mean
read that on bumper sticker?
that's a very gushy way to and then you actually watch a show just like you're so fat, you should kill yourself. Um,
Oof. No, I feel like it's like, hurt people, man, and you're great at it
yeah,
because you've seen a
yeah,
lot of shit.
exactly, exactly. It's a good time.
It's a good time. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like get, therapeutic or anything on you. I'm not trying to
Oh
like
no, dude,
get you whatever.
let's
I'm
get
just
deep. I'm
like,
not afraid to get deep, man.
yeah, I know. We
Get
were,
deep as hell.
we're running short on time, so
Are we?
uh up getting a cash out from them
Yeah,
through a lawsuit.
I
You
think
got
my
a big chunk of
take home
change.
was like 30 grand.
Yeah, and you didn't put that towards your medical bills. You bought a
I
car.
bought a car and a laptop and a Switch and a tattoo of Yoda smoking weed.
Let's see it.
And you want to see the
Yeah,
tattoo?
where is it?
All right. It's Yoda and Gizmo, and Yoda's using
Oh,
the
and
Force to
Gizmo.
smoke weed. Don't give a 18-year-old 30 grand, or he'll do this.
Oh God. Wow. Yeah, it's like perfectly in frame almost. Yeah. Wow, okay. Yeah. Uh
Yeah. That's the only tattoo I regret. I fucking hate it.
oh
But
really?
yeah, it's
Probably the most
embarrassing.
expensive one too, huh?
Yeah, very. It's oh yeah. Oh well.
Well, it's life,
Mhm.
live and learn.
Absolutely.
You've lived so hard, so far,
I try
Do you think
to
it's because you've seen so much, you've seen death, you're like, I gotta fucking go hard because it's gonna be over someday.
yeah, I have to things have to be eventful. Like I need to see new shit all the time or I'll get depressed,
Sure.
you know?
And you've done a couple different pods here in Denver now. Which one do you think's the best?
Mhm.
Which one's been the
This
best
one,
experience
of
for you?
course.
Yeah, thank you.
How could it not
Yeah.
be?
Yeah. Well, I know. Sorry, I don't have lozenges like Ethan, but
That's all right. That's all right. I have the record of most appearances on recreational outrage. So
sure.
that's a record I intend to keep for the foreseeable.
Yeah, yeah. I did it once, never asked back. So
Well, should have done better. I don't
yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, no, love those dudes. So
Yeah, but come on,
come
spill the
on,
tea on them.
come on. The tea. What tea is there to spill on that? I mean, they're very open. I feel like they'll tell
Yeah,
you
yeah.
whatever. Uh, they have a Bill Cos. If you look closely, there's a Bill Cosby album in the background of all
Yeah,
the.
what's worse than to be in the background, a Bill Cosby album or that Nazi book that Ethan has?
um, do you have anything problematic?
No, dude, I'm good.
Couple of chimps. I mean,
Katie Bowman made that
this
for me.
feels like it could
That's
be
why it's not in
insensitive.
frame.
Okay, all right. For those of you just listening, it's a big old Hitler sucking God's dick.
That's not what it is.
Okay.
Well, now I feel like I gotta show
No,
it.
that's what it is. Oh, don't take it down before you show him. He just took it down and replaced it with this Bruce Lee.
No, it's a broccoli. Got it from
Yeah.
Threadless. And I just fucked up all the angles here. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Well, we've
All
been
right.
doing either
Thank you for.
lightning round questions to end
Oh.
it. Well, yeah, thank you.
All right.
Or we'll do a pitch for a movie. Do you have a preference?
Lightning round questions.
Okay, lightning round question. All meant to be in fun. Okay.
Okay.
Who do you think you are?
A failed magician.
Do you really feel that way?
I mean, yeah.
What was the sleight of hand thing or what was like your biggest trick? What was the one that would get them?
I love the 2-card Monty.
Which is?
It's like a 3-card Monty, but it happens in your hand.
Could you explain what a Monty is?
Yeah, you know that trick where like it's like 3 cards, you have to follow the ace, and they're like mixing it around everything.
Okay,
It's a play on that, but it's
only 2
just
cards.
designed to fuck with you. Yeah,
Okay.
and then you like flip it over, and you're like, is it the heart or the ace? And you flip it over, and it's just 2 totally different cards that weren't even in play.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a fun one.
What makes you so great?
I don't think I'm that great, honestly.
Okay. What motivates you?
Spite.
Yeah. There you go. Are you an artist?
Yes.
What is art?
Art is creative endeavors that, it's being creative. Anything that's creative is art.
Is roasting art?
Yeah.
Because that's your main thing is like the roast, right?
Well,
that's like what you're most known for right now.
I guess it's but I prefer to do stand up, just regular stand up.
You don't consider it stand up?
It is stand up, but I was talking to someone about this the other day. We did like a Rooster Magazine roast, and it took me 2 years to get what I think is like a good 10 minutes of stand up comedy. It took me 1 day to come up with a good 10 minutes of roasting. So it's just it's easier. It's
Do you
a
have
lot
a
easier.
formula for roasting?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of this ethereal formula, but it's definitely something that I recognize a lot more now than when I started. You kind of just plug in.
Do you have any advice for somebody who's like, oh, I want to get good at this roasting thing, like a young comic, trying to start off?
Yeah, you just have to be bad at it, and then you'll get good.
Do you feel like you were bad at it at first?
Yeah, very.
Yeah, I feel like how you're deconstructing the test taking process. I feel like you've you have like this autistic way of like
Thank you.
seeing the matrix with the roasting stuff. Is that like
Yeah. It's just like, funny word, obscure reference.
Okay.
Like hyper specificity, I guess.
Interesting. And do you take into consideration the target of the roast, or is it you could like generally
yeah. It's all
like you have
it's all,
to be pretty
I mean,
specific?
there are ones that you have that can kind of just blanket work for anybody, but the fun ones are when you really know the person and you can kind of twist the knife a little bit.
Okay, give me one roast for me here. I guess since you've
Oh
give me
God,
one. Is that not how it works, or would it be?
I mean, I would want to
You'd
when
want to write it.
if I'm allowed back, I'll come prepared with one.
Okay.
All right. I'll text you. We'll put it in post.
You're
gonna
roast the podcast, the Denver podcasts.
The Denver podcasts in general. Oh man, you really put me on the spot. I love them so much.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you consider mine a Denver when you think of that? Because I know you're a young buck. So, like, you think of recreational outrage. You think of you've been on the fire. I want to say Firehouse Studios. Evan Fitzgerald stuff.
Yes, Slaughterhouse. Well, that was one. I mean, like when I came into the scene, this was one that was definitely already
he's
established.
Like young and hungry. He's
right.
He's going out there.
This would like I saw this one.
Mine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yours as like the podcast coming into the scene.
Okay.
That one was one that I kind of came up alongside.
Yeah. So that's like your pie. Yeah.
Right.
You've
Those are we all started at the
yeah,
same time, and it was the post-COVID
yeah
like group of us that kind of
yeah. You're
Yeah.
definitely the post-COVID wave here.
Post-COVID wave.
Perfect.
That was my post-COVID
Yeah,
wave.
I got it.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
You guys got to watch the visuals, okay? If you're
Yeah.
not getting that here. Does art imitate life or does life imitate art?
I think it works both ways.
All right, just like you, huh?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
What gives you the right?
What gives me the right? Being alive. Existing.
Is it worse to fail at something or never attempt it in the first place?
Fail. No, it's worse to never attempt. It's worse to never attempt.
Pie or cake?
Oh, man.
This is the longest pause you've had.
Okay, I would say, like, cake and like if I don't know what kind it is, I would go. I feel like there's not a kind of cake I don't like. There's pies that I don't like, but I feel like the greatest pies are greater than the greatest cakes.
Wow. Okay.
But in general, cake is better than pie.
Is it a seasonal thing for you? Like right now in the fall, I'm thinking carrot cake, spice cake,
Pumpkin pie.
pumpkin pie. Yeah,
Pumpkin pie with too much whipped cream is like
not a thing.
It can't get better than that. It really can't.
Yeah.
And I love cheesecake. I love like a German chocolate cake. A cupcake. Even.
Would you say you're a sweet boy? You like sweets?
Yeah.
You got sweet teeth?
Oh yeah. I mean, look at them. They're little giblets. No, I love sweets. Big old sweet tooth.
Yeah. Well, you hold it well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So what's your go-to pie?
Pumpkin.
Yeah, dude,
for sure.
We're like,
I love a key
wow,
lime.
you just went up so much in my book right there.
An apple a la mode with cheddar cheese.
I would like to get a pumpkin pie slice tattoo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you. Cake? Are you into ice cream?
I love ice cream.
Favorite flavor?
Mint chip. I love a cookie
mint
dough. I love a cherry Garcia.
Yeah, I like the bits of cherry. I'm not crazy about the bits of chocolate.
I love the bits of chocolate.
I don't like the cold chocolate. I don't like the texture of it in my mouth.
I love that it varies, it gives you a varied texture.
It's all about the mouthfeel.
It's all about the mouthfeel. Absolutely.
What's your problem?
What's my problem? Where do we start? Probably I don't have any problems.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Good place to end. Thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it. Do you have anywhere people can find you besides at Evan Joe on Instagram?
No, just there. I got to get better about like posting shows and stuff. But yeah, typically just Instagram.
The Roast King of Denver right here.
If that's
you got
what they're
the title,
saying.
right?
Didn't
you win that? I mean, is that what they're saying? I mean, you won that.
Yeah, no, I do have a belt that says that.
Why don't you carry it around everywhere?
Thing. I did for a while. For a while, I would have it
car?
under my clothes at all time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, just check that out.
Yeah, dude.
Right now it's in my closet at my house. Yeah.
Wow, you put it in a closet. You don't even display it.
No.
You working now, or are you still just busking on the streets?
I'll do like DoorDash here and there.
Okay.
I was working at King Supers for a while, but then I went to Philadelphia and they fired me.
You.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to pursue this dream of comedy, man. You're doing it.
Exactly. So.
Well, thanks so much. It's been interesting to get to know you.
This was a blast.
I will say Wakanda forever, be excellent to each other, and however you want to sign this pod off.
With a post-COVID wave.
Perfect. Thanks. That's been the Hoodie Pod, bro.
Yeah, that was awesome.